Okay, so this is one of the first looks at Super Stickman Golf 3 that we're working on. This is still super early. We actually just announced that this exists this week. But the big feature in this one that we're doing that a lot of people have been asking for is we're actually making a level editor. So I'm actually going to show off the level editor a little bit today. Some of the things that people are going to be able to do with it. It's super simple. Unfortunately, tweaking and making this level editor has been priority one, but that means we haven't been able to build courses yet because we have to have the editor done to build the courses with. Because it's not how we did it at all before. So this is there's a lot of stuff here that kind of looks a little crazy, and the UI and stuff is all going to change. But for now, I can just show you some of the conceptual ideas. So everything is going to be super simple to use. It's like a drag and drop mechanic. So you'll be able to, on the top left side here, and actually, so I should mention, we're building this as a Mac app, a standalone Mac app. Possibility of making an iPad app if it all works out, so people can drag and drop and do that sort of thing too. So it's going to be very simple. Like here, for example, I'm just going to grab the hole, and if you want to put your hole right there, it clicks down to the course, and that's it. Like it's very easy to use. Say here, this is a laser node. I can move that. I say I want to put the laser right here, and you have each item on the top right side here has its own attributes. So I can maybe change the color to dark blue because I like dark blue for some reason. And I want to add maybe we'll just leave it at this for now, and I'll show you some of the other options. So these are dynamic objects. So if I click on the object, see on the right side here, this is all your animation lines. So if it's spinning, you can add your rotation. If you want it to be on a Y or X axis, if you want the speed at which it does things, you can edit all this stuff. So kids are going to be able to go nuts with this stuff. So then when you get what you want, you can test it, and we can run the scene. And so here now it's obviously things are a little janky from the look, but it's running the scene, right? So we have a little drag mechanic in here just so that people can play around with it. But you can shoot around, you can make sure it works. You're like, I don't really like where I want that laser to be more ridiculous. So we're going to stop it. And we're going to take this and say, I want it to attach to this because this is moving around, and that's going to be crazier. So then you attach it. It just attaches right to the node and say, okay, now this is going to make it way harder to deal with. So we'd have to time your shots to go up and around and that sort of thing. Kind of went a little crazy there. Or you can be like, you know what? I want it to be even harder, so I'm just going to add a magnet onto the course somewhere, my magnet node, and we'll just put that up here so it's tougher to shoot over top. We'll be able to adjust the power of the magnets and the size of the field and that sort of thing. So now that's up in the way, so I wait for the laser to get by, and then I try to shoot over, but then the magnet screws me up, right? So they're probably going to get pretty diabolical with the way they make their courses. So, but we also think, the people who played this game come up with crazy ways to complete the courses as it is. So we think that there's going to be some pretty amazing stuff that people are going to make.
So the question is, how long is it going to take for someone to make a dick course?
I would say about 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah. we were thinking about actually having a dick course just to show off, but we thought maybe that might not be appropriate.
That's the best thing about user-generated content.
Yeah.
It's time to dicks.
Time to dicks is, it should be an equation. Time to dick.
There you go.
So, and I can show off here some simple stuff, like say, for example, there's a little dip in the course here, or you want to just add, you want to add a sand trap to it. It's as simple as saying, selecting your sand from the editor and just like going to the line of where you want it to be, clicking, and it'll autofill in the holes. So it's like, boom, there's your sand trap. You can hit play, and then the sand will react accordingly, like it should. So it's obviously proof of concept right now. For the you can even go right into the mechanics of it and see the blueprint of what's actually happening behind. So there's the whole nodes and that sort of thing.
Cool.
Like anything, we're going to be adding in new power-ups. We're going to be adding in crazier like obstacles and courses and that sort of stuff. And so this editor is still very simple at this time, but it's going to be fully fleshed out with all the different things that you're going to find in a normal stick golf game, portals, everything like that. And the game.
I guess my question: do you feel like the editor is too difficult?
Not at the. Well, that's the thing. Is like it's not going to be when this is still very early stages, right? So
I'm just imagining like you're some teenager at like Super Stick Golf, like wants to make a level and shit, and it's like, oh, check out all these parameters you can edit.
Well, and that's the thing is they don't have to do that, right? So it's as simple as saying, if you want to just add, like I was saying, a portal, you just grab it from the side and you add it in, right? And it's just you drag it to where you want to put it, and it'll activate it, right? So the people who really want to get into it can go and dive into the mechanics. We're going to give them the options to to really dig into animation and that sort of thing. But to make a simple course that has nothing on it, they can just put it out. It can even just be a flat terrain with a hole on it.
Yeah.
And that's all they have to do. They just drag where they want the hole to be and where they want the tee-off box to be, and then they hit play.
Okay.
Right? So
cool.
it's going to be very simple in that regard. Of course, that is, like, you hit the nail on the head. It's something that we're actively working on, is to ensure that the editor isn't too crazy difficult, so that people will be able to generate as much content as they want.
Cool.
And we're also, graphically, the game is going to be obviously very similar aesthetic, but we're looking at kind of a little bit more 3D depth to it. Not really a 2.5D, but it's going to be more 3D looking models in a 2D plane. So the polish is obviously going to be a lot higher. We're actually going to be doing cross-platform multiplayer, so there's going to actually be a desktop version.
Okay.
And so people will be able to play multiplayer across platforms with people on their phones, and we're also adding controller support. So we're looking at expanding beyond, beyond even the iPhone market to Steam and things like that too. So people will be able to play on Steam versus their friend on an iPhone. So it's going to be, because everyone knows that the multiplayer is kind of what everyone, is what stick golf is all about. So it's obviously going to be a big component to Stickman Golf 3. So, and this, as far as launch is concerned, I mean, we're so early in on this. We're hoping maybe Q4 this year, if not Q1 next year. I was talking to a lot of guys last night who were saying that we should wait until E3 next year and actually take it to E3. So I don't know if we're going to do that, but it's still quite a ways out.
Cool.
So yeah,
awesome, man. Thanks for showing us.
Yep,
It's really cool.
It's happening.